Hello everyone, welcome back to Jack in the Books. Welcome back to my second channel. This week it was Independent Bookshop Day, and book lover math is that because you're supporting a small business, it doesn't count as being bad for your bank account. They just balance each other out, you know? Like I can't feel shame for spending my money when it was going to a good cause, to a good business, to a business that is important and needs the support, you know? So that's how I justified a little spending spree. So I wanted to tell you about the books that I bought. I was in Edinburgh on Independent Bookshop Day. I did a little birthday trip with my housemate. It was such a fun day. We climbed Arthur's Seat, which was very one day coded of us. David Nichols wrote that scene in a book. And actually, we were like running around the hills. Like we just threw our tote bags on the floor and just started running around because it was such a gorgeous day. And I was like, it's so nice to just get some fresh air. And this stranger, when we got to the bottom of the hill, she came over to me and she was like, hey, sorry if this is weird, but I caught such a cute video of you guys just having the most fun, frolicking around and laughing. And can I airdrop it to you? And I was like, yes, that is so lovely. And it's funny actually, because one of my other favorite memories also was captured by a stranger. When I was 18, I went interrailing around Europe, and I went to Lake Bled in Slovenia, and me and my friends climbed up to the top of the hill, and we were looking out over this basically like a Windows screensaver. Like it was so beautiful. In fact, Lake Bled is actually the screensaver on my TV that I actually own, like inbuilt. That's what they set. That's what the company set as the background when you first turn on the telly. I got to go to that actual place. It was so amazing. Such a beautiful evening. We climbed up to the top. We brought beers with us in our backpacks and a bottle opener. So we opened the beers and we're just like sitting there drinking, like no phones, not thinking about capturing it or anything like that. And this guy came up to me and he was like, hey, I took a picture of you and your friends with my film camera. Could you give me your email address and I'll email it to you once I get the pictures developed? And so like months and months later, I'd completely forgotten this even happened. I get this email in my inbox and it is the most perfect picture. I'll put it on the screen if I can find it. I say that, I have it in a frame. Like I will definitely be able to find this picture. It's one of my favorite pictures ever of me and my friends from school just chilling. Like it is the definition of a candid photo. Anyway, all this to say, I want to tell you about some books that I bought. How did I go on that tangent? I guess the moral there is if you do capture a moment of someone and their friends or their partner or whatever, send it to them because they will appreciate that forever. And the best thing is a video or a photo when you didn't know you were going to be on camera. I think that's really, really special. So anyway, speaking about nature and being obsessed with the outside world, etc., and appreciating the natural world, I bought the Seasonal Quartet by Ali Smith. So Ali Smith wrote books called Autumn, Winter, Spring, and Summer, a book for each season, and I've always been very intrigued by Ali Smith's writing. I've never read any of her books, but she is a Scottish writer. And since I was in Edinburgh and I went to my favourite bookshop in Edinburgh, which is Topping & Co., just absolutely gorgeous, all these amazing wooden bookshelves. The staff there are so lovely. I had a great chat with some of the staff and they're always so pleasant and give the best recommendations. And so I've had my eye on the quartet for a while, and then I looked into it. I was doing some research last week and I found out that Autumn is actually the first book in the quartet. So if you want to read them in order, I don't think you have to, but if you do want to read them in order, I think Autumn is the first one that Ali Smith wrote, and it's the autumn right now. So I thought now is the perfect time to buy all of these books and then read them in their corresponding season. How special is that? So in this season where the leaves are turning brown and somersaulting down to the pavement, I thought it would be lovely to read a book all about the autumn. So, Daniel is a century old. Elizabeth, born in 1984, has her eye on the future. The United Kingdom is in pieces, divided by a historic once-in-a-generation summer. Love is won, love is lost. Hope is hand in hand with hopelessness. The seasons roll around. So I thought I would read this season. And then next season, in the winter, we have, would you guess? Winter. This one won the Orwell Prize in 2018. Autumn was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2017. So these have been highly celebrated too. I mean, they're described as astonishing, dazzling, luminously beautiful, stunning on the cover. Winter, bleak, frosty wind, earth as iron, water as stone. So the old song goes. When four people, strangers and family, converge in a 15-bedroom house in Cornwall for Christmas, will there be enough room for everyone? So I definitely don't think these are all linked so much, but I am intrigued. Right, so here's where it gets tricky. I have not yet bought Spring. And the reason for that is on the spines, it's like a purely aesthetic reason. So on the spines, you'll see it says Ali Smith and then the season in white font, right? Same with summer. And then also there's a companion piece. So this goes alongside the seasonal quartet. That's this one here. And the text on the spine is also white. So tell me why the text on the spine for spring is black. It just looks wrong. It doesn't look right. Why are they not uniform? Why would they not match? I'm convinced that must be an error, unless someone can explain that to me. I guess it is the middle one, because it would be autumn, winter, spring, summer companion piece. So potentially it's black because it's the middle one. So it's black, white, 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 white. That's the only rationale I can think of. Why would they do that? I feel like the spine often is the lowest priority of designers, like making spines uniform. It's so annoying when spines in the same series have different font sizes or like different layouts, you know? This is like a book lover qualm. But yeah, I was just confused why spring would be in black on that edition. So I was like, I'll go and see in some other bookstores. And I have been to 2 other bookstores since, and they also had it in black. So I might just have to give in and buy it like that. But I was just surprised. Anyway, so I don't know what spring is about yet, but summer is, this is the blurb. In the present, Sacha knows the world's in trouble. Her brother Robert, in trouble. Their mother and father are having trouble. Meanwhile, the world's in meltdown. And the real meltdown hasn't even started yet. In the past, a lovely summer. A different brother and sister know they're living on borrowed time. This is a story about people on the brink of change. They're family, but they think they're strangers. So, where does family begin? And what do people who think they've got nothing in common have in common? Summer. Oh, they just sound so good. I'm very excited about this. And then companion piece says, one day in post-Brexit, mid-pandemic Britain, artist Sandy Gray receives an unexpected phone call from a university acquaintance, Martina. Martina is calling Sandy to ask for help with a mysterious question she's been left with after she spent half a day locked in a room by border control officials for no reason she can fathom. The question is, curlew or curfew? You choose. And what's any of this got to do with the story of a young and talented blacksmith hounded from her trade and her home more than 500 years ago? Ali Smith's novel takes a wing, soaring between our atomized present and our medieval past, in the hope we can open our locked down homes and selves to all the other times, other species, other histories, other possibilities. So this was such an interesting project that I really wanted to take on and read, and I'm very excited about it, especially once I get the spring edition too, which has a blue spine, and then hopefully I can find one that has white text. If anyone knows where I can pin that down, let me know. Because I was toying between buying these or the US editions. The US editions are all like this beautiful watercolor. They're much more minimalist. And now I'm like, damn, I should have bought the US ones because at least they were cohesive. Whatever. It doesn't matter too much, but it matters to me. Next, my housemate Jordan actually bought me this book for my birthday when we were in Edinburgh at Topping & Co. This is The Anthropologists, and we basically both got a copy and we're both going to read it together. We're going to do a little buddy read because she said this reminds her of us. Anu and Manu are looking at apartments, envisioning their future in a foreign city. Removed from the web of family and its obligations, what traditions and rituals should they establish together? As they dream about the possibilities of each new listing, Asia, a documentary filmmaker, spends her days gathering footage from the neighborhood park like an anthropologist, observing local customs, anxious to know how people really live. Forget about daily life, chides her grandmother on the phone. No one cares about that. Meanwhile, life back in Asia and Manu's respective home countries continues. Parents age, grandparents get sick, nieces and nephews grow up, all just slightly beyond their reach. But the world they're making in their new city is growing too, they hope. As they open up the horizons of their lives, what and whom will they hold on to, and what will they need to release? Unfolding over a series of apartment viewings, late-night conversations, last round of drinks, and lazy breakfasts, The Anthropologist is a soulful examination of home building and modern love, written with Aishagol Savas's distinctive elegance, warmth, and humour. Me and Jordan have been going through house viewings, late-night drinking, finding our local favourite breakfast spot over the last couple months because we just moved into this flat, and so she said this really reminds her of us. And so we said we would read it together, which I think is going to be so lovely. We actually, story time, went for this hungover brunch after my birthday, and we go to this brunch place all the time, right? For like a greasy fry up. And we'd never noticed that on the wall is a canvas with a printed out newspaper article about how Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin went there for breakfast one time. Like, what? So anyway, we went and we sat in the same seats as Justin and Hailey, and we took a matching picture to match up to the one of them because someone in the restaurant had just like taken a picture of them like on their phone and then sent it to this newspaper. And so yeah, it turns out that Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin love the same fry up as I do. Who'd have thought it? Okay, I had to just quickly take a break to check that my audio was recording because I filmed a whole video the other day and the mic wasn't working. So it was just me like just silent movie, I guess. But we're still going. So the next book that I have, I was actually given. So this is a bit of a cheat for this video, but I wanted to tell you about it because I filmed a TV show the other day. Oh my gosh, it's like my dream to film this show. It's called Between the Covers. You might have heard of it if you live in the UK, but it's on the BBC and it's basically a celebrity book club. And so the premise is that 4 people come and share a book that they've been loving, which they call Bring Your Own Book, And then the next part is that everyone has read one of the same books and then discusses it. So it's just basically a book club. And I was asked to go on as a guest, which is crazy. I am still pinching myself, still can't believe that happened. And the book that we had to discuss was Butter by Asaka Yuzuki, which is really interesting. You will see the episode in November. But you'll have to wait and see which book I took as my Bring Your Own Book. It is somewhere behind me, but that doesn't really give much away. One of the other guests on the show was Graham Norton. Graham fucking Norton! How crazy. I got to have my Graham Norton sofa moment. Not technically on the Graham Norton show, but I did get to sit next to him on an armchair. It wasn't quite a sofa, but you know, that was just so cool. And this is his new book. So when I got to my dressing room, he had left me this copy in there, which was so kind of him. This is called Frankie. You should be the main character in your own life, but Frankie never was. We all have a story to tell. We just need to find the right person to tell it to. Always on the periphery, looking on, young Frankie was never quite sure enough of herself to take center stage. After all, life had already judged her harshly. Now old, Frankie finds it easier to forget the life that came before. Then Damien, a young Irish carer, arrives to her London flat, there to keep an eye on her as she recovers from a fall. A memory is sparked, and the past crackles into life as Damien listens to the story Frankie has kept stored away for all of these years. Traveling from post-war Ireland to 1960s New York, a city full of art, larger-than-life characters, and turmoil, Frankie shares a world in which friendship and chance encounters collide. A place where, for a while, life blazes with an intensity that can't last, but will perhaps live on in other ways and in other people. Frankie is a dazzling, decade-sweeping novel about love, bravery, and what it means to live a significant life. And that is Frankie. And you'll have to keep an eye out on my social media to see when the episode airs. They just did the press release announcing that we're going to be on the show, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I'll let you know when it's going live. Thank you for making that happen. Like, this is all down to you guys watching the videos, and it's such a dream come true for me. So very, 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 very grateful. I felt like a competition winner being on the set of the show and seeing how the sausage gets made, seeing it all behind the scenes. And I just had the best time. So that's coming out soon. Before I show you the final books, I just wanted to let you know that today's video is very kindly brought to you by Squarespace. And Squarespace is the all-in-one platform for building a website or an online brand. They have amazing features. You do not need to have any coding experience because they have templates which you can customize. There's hundreds to choose from. You just pick the one that you like and then make it your own. And they also have amazing features. For example, the ability to make a blog, an email sign-up list, and they have AI SEO to make sure your website appears on search results. They also now have these amazing AI design features, basically bringing together all of the best features of Squarespace and helping you to make the best website possible. So it could not be easier. You can just drag things around, move them about to where you want them. And I love Squarespace. So if you would like to check it out, you can head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial. And then use the code jackinthebooks at squarespace.com/jackinthebooks to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And when you've done creating, bringing your website together, please send me the link. I would love to see it for inspiration. And thank you so much to Squarespace for working with me. And then the final thing that I bought for Independent Bookshop Day is this. This is the complete works of Jane Austen. Now, I basically have some copies of Jane Austen's books, but these are just beautiful and kind of blow any other copy I have out of the water. These are the Penguin cloth-bound classics. And basically, when I read all of Jane Austen's books after I finished my degree, I borrowed them all from the local library. So I don't really have like nice editions of my own that I can annotate and fold down the pages of and give out to people who I think should read them, you know? So I decided to invest in these absolutely stunning editions, and they go right up there on my bookshelves. They just look beautiful, so I thought I deserve this. Since I have read them all, I should have collector's editions of them, right? So let me show you them. We have Mansfield Park. This one is Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Emma, which is my personal favorite. I just think the humor holds up today. It's all about misinterpreting events, miscommunication, a character who Jane Austen described as someone she thought no one but herself would much like. However, I think Emma is so much fun. This I have not read, so actually I do need to read this one. Love and Friendship and Other Youthful Writings. So I think this will include the novella Lady Susan and some other writing that Jane Austen did when she was young. Okay, we have stories like Frederick and Elfrida, Jack and Alice, Edgar and Emma, Henry and Eliza, The Adventures of Mr. Harley. Huh, how interesting. Oh, and there's also some scraps of her writing that she never published, and then Lady Susan, which was her novella she wrote when she was like 17, which is crazy. The amount of talent she had in her little finger is more than I have in my whole body in my whole lifetime. Then we have Persuasion, which includes one of the best declarations of love of all time. Like, the bar has been set by this book. And Northanger Abbey, which has some of the best villains, I guess, villainous characters of all time. Like, the way Jane Austen could make you hate a character is just genius. Yeah, I'm a big Jane Austen fan, so grateful to have those editions now. So thank you for watching this video. For now, all the best, stay in touch, have the most wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.